If you've watched some of my other content, you would have seen me talk about how much of YouTube advice just doesn't work for new and small creators. So in this video, I'm going to break down what I think are the most important things that you can do as a new or small creator to get your first 399 subs. Just as a heads up, the title of this video is going to change depending on if my sub count increases or decreases. Have an opinion. I think a lot of newbies feel as though they need to regurgitate the same kind of information given by the larger creators within their niche. You know, make the same videos and say the same things. I know what it's like. You feel as though you don't have the right to disagree because you're so much smaller than they are. You don't have enough confidence in your own ability and knowledge to stand up and say, you know what? I think they're wrong. After all, they've achieved so much more than you have, right? You're concerned that it's going to come across as arrogant and that you're going to be called out in the comments for it. You think that you're going to be seen as the imposter that you actually think you are. But here's the thing, if you're saying the same thing as everybody else, why should anyone watch you? Now, it could be that you've got an amazing, engaging personality or real authority within your niche. But for an average, regular guy like me, it's important to try and set myself apart. And when you do, you'll find that viewers actually want to hear your opinion. They do want to hear what you've got to say and they do want to hear your take. And if they don't, it's okay, because on YouTube, it's all about finding your real audience, people who actually want to listen to what you have to say and tune in regularly for you. So you know what? Just accept the slow growth, because it's not just about building an audience, it's about building the right audience. Emulate, don't copy. Now, when you're first starting out, you're not sure what your style is and you're not sure how you want to make your videos. However, there will definitely be some creators within your niche that you look up to. So you start to take inspiration from your favorite YouTubers. Now that's fine. That's all part of the process of finding your own style and voice. But there's a fine line between being inspired by and copying somebody to the extent that there's no real difference between your content and theirs. In the YouTube growth niche, there's lots and lots of new creators that have been inspired by Rob the Maritimer's walk and talk videos and his videos out in nature. Now, the reason I haven't made one of these videos yet is so closely associated with him as a creator that I think it'd be really difficult for me to make my own version of it. Don't get me wrong, I have seen lots of new creators who have obviously been inspired by Rob, who have done a really great job in making the videos and the style their own. So I'm not saying don't do it, and I'm not saying you can't do it, but just make sure you've got your own spin on what it is you're borrowing. The same thing applies for any creator who is really iconic within their niche. You can't do their style better than they can. You can't out-Maritime the Maritimer. You can't out-Hormozi Hormozi. It's better to spend that time and effort in building your own style. Why would somebody watch the bootleg version when they could watch the real thing? I've also heard of creators download transcripts from a video, put it through AI to get a slightly different version of that transcript and make a video using that. And while technically you could probably argue that it's not copying, at the very least, it's just lazy. How sustainable do you think that's going to be in the long term? And what's going to happen when you actually do decide that you want to write your own content and use your own voice? Do you think the subs you've gained from ripping other people's content are going to stick around and actually like your own voice too? Now, I don't know the answer to that question, but it's food for thought. Be a beginner. If you're a beginner, in the same way that I'm a beginner at YouTube growth, it's okay to show that. Trying to be an expert or trying to give off this perfect image when you're just starting out, you can end up putting so much more pressure on yourself than is really necessary. You can also create a divide between you and the audience because they just don't think that you're being genuine. I'm going to say that your audience will be able to spot fake it till you make it a mile off. Lean into your beginner status. There's always going to be an audience for you wherever you are on your journey. There's always going to be people who are just a few steps behind you. You don't need to know everything, you just need to know a little bit more than your audience does. If you've done the first two things right, you might not actually need to know more. Now, I've got lots of subscribers on my channel who are actually ahead of where I am right now, but they still regularly watch and engage with my content. Now, these are people who undoubtedly know more about growing a YouTube channel than I do, because they've grown so much more than I have. So it just goes to show, either way, you don't need to be an expert, but you do need to have a USP. You do need to have a reason that people are going to watch you. Keep it simple, stupid. It's so easy to overcomplicate YouTube, especially in the early days, whereas what you should be doing is trying to make it as easy and as simple as possible. Creating videos should not be a burden. You need to be reducing as much of the friction in the process as you can. Now, let's be clear. At the beginning, you're not going to be getting many views, so actually making more simple videos makes a lot of sense. Videos that you're able to make more simply and easily. This is going to allow you the time to actually focus on improving specific areas of your content. Adding complexity at this stage can just get in the way of creating. It can make it more difficult to make videos when you just don't feel like doing it, which undoubtedly is going to happen at some point in your new creator journey. Simple makes it easier to push through. It makes it easier to get the reps in. It makes it easier to practice, and it makes it easier to keep going. Okay, so let's be real. I couldn't do a video about how to grow on YouTube without using the C word. When I first started on YouTube, I thought consistency was the number of videos I posted and posting on the same day at the same time each week. However, what I've realized is that it's so much more about showing up consistently over time. It's about consistency of effort, consistency of improvement, consistency of adapting, and consistency of learning. Now do that over the weeks, months, and years that you're on this platform. Value above everything. Really think about the value that you're providing for your audience. What problem are you solving, and what question are you answering? If you have to think about the answer to these questions for too long, then it's quite possible that you're not really providing any real value in your videos, or it could be that the questions you're answering just aren't big enough. Your audience and their problems should be at the heart of everything you do. Continue to focus on that, and you will continue to grow. Having said that, I do understand that sometimes in order to stay sane, we actually just need to make the videos that we want to make, and we really need to let our creative side out a little bit. I really do believe that there's a happy medium between making the videos that you want to make and making the videos that your audience wants to see, and making the videos that are actually going to help you grow. The truth is, if you're serious about growing on YouTube, you're probably going to need to do all three. There are no quick fixes. YouTube growth hacks do not work. How to get subs quickly videos do nothing more than play to your insecurities. Growth is hard, and you know what? Taking shortcuts are just going to get you lost in the long run. Easy growth on YouTube is not real growth. As an example, sub for sub. Will it get you some subscribers? Yeah. Will some of those subscribers watch your videos? Probably. Will those subscribers continue to watch your videos and engage with your content long term? The likelihood is probably not. Wherever you are on a YouTube journey, however many subs you have, you know what? Just relax. You're exactly where you need to be. Slow and steady growth is the name of the game. So what about you guys? What tips would you give to new and small creators about how to grow on YouTube and how to get their first 399 subscribers? Let me know in the comments below. There's going to be a video floating around here somewhere, which is what the geniuses at YouTube think you're going to like to watch next. I'll catch you next time.